Now's the time we start thinking about all the ways we can be better, do better, and live better in the new year. Lots of us make resolutions. Some of us write down specific goals. No matter what you do, there's nothing stopping you from living up to your potential and following your dreams in 2019 other than yourself. Welcome this morning, trainer Brent Williams. He's the owner of Iron Oak Fitness. Brent, good morning. Happy New Year. Thanks for being here today.
Happy New Year, Colleen. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so we should mention you are the owner of a gym. You're a personal trainer, and most people associate that with, helping people build a strong, fit, healthy physical body, right? But you say it's about much more than that for you.
It totally is, yep. Our bodies are an end result. So for me, it's the end of an equation, right? So I like to think about the roots of the equation and then kind of build my life from there, and I inspire my clients to do the same.
Okay, so you want to help people really live their best this new year.
Right.
The first thing you want people to do is figure out what it is they'd really like to do. Can you talk more about that?
Exactly. Well, I think we so often live reactionary lives, right? Like responding to the world around us, especially in cities when things are busy, lots of social media, and it's just a response all the time. If we can get quiet and if we can think about what it is that I want to bring to my own life, and then we can start practically working on that, then these New Year's resolutions are going to stick, and we're gonna change our lives, right?
And whether that thing is, I would like to have this new job, or I would like to lose 20 pounds, or I would like to be in a relationship, whatever that thing is, or I would like to have more fun in my life, whatever the thing is, think about what it is that you want to bring to it.
Right.
Okay, so that's the first step.
And think about just one of them. I think if you just find one and focus there, sometimes I have terrible ADD. So it's very easy for me to lose focus really quickly. So I have to remind myself to focus on one thing and work practical steps until that thing starts to manifest. And I think that's an important thing to do. Yeah.
I totally agree. So yeah, get clear about what it is that you want. Next, take the first step. And by that you mean decide this is actually happening.
Yep. Yep. I think that's the most important step, and that's honestly the hardest one. It's very easy to say the things that we want to do and change in the new year, but people say that every year, and then and I've done it, and then I live a redundant, repetitive life where it seems like I'm always having the same New Year's resolution, right?
It's a recycled life.
It is. Yes. So a few years back, I started realizing that if I actually practically pick one, choose it, and decide that I'm going to make this happen, and then create a structured plan, then the end result has to be that, right? Like that's how it works.
Yes, and that is your next tip, is to create a structured plan. Talk about the importance of that part.
Well, if we don't create a plan, what happens? I mean, if we don't get a map, what happens? We have no idea where we're going to go or where we're going to land. Our results are going to come from a structure in that same regard. So if, do you remember a few years back, maybe 10 years ago, they had those WWJD, What Would Jesus Do bracelets?
Yes.
Okay, so I loved those because the main reason is because I thought you could take, anything at the end of that. If you fill in the blank, if you want to be an astronaut, a pastry chef, whatever, you have an end result. So at the end of the equation, then you can start working the steps in the beginning. So pick the first one. If I want to be a pastry chef, and I don't, even though I talk about it all, actually, maybe. But anyhow, if I wanted to do that, the first thing I would do would be to educate myself, right? So I would find a class. I moved to Hawaii in my mid-20s, and it was amazing, but I had to sell everything in my apartment because in my mind, what would someone who live in Hawaii do? They surely wouldn't have an apartment full of stuff in Southwest Virginia.
All the stuff,
right, exactly. So take the first step, make it happen in your mind, and then start to make it happen in your life.
I'm telling you, there's something about making it happen in your mind first. You have to be able to see it. Because it helps you with the strategy and with the plan.
Totally.
The planning part. Also, I love this. You say, remind yourself that you're awesome.
Yeah.
Remind yourself that you're awesome when you're doing this.
Totally, yep. Remind yourself that you're awesome every day. Put reminders up. It's kind of silly, but if you think about Dumbo's feather, that's a reminder. So when I recently shaved my beard, and the main reason I did that is so that every time I looked in the mirror, I would remember consciously that I am at the root of everything I change in my life. Now, every time I see myself in my eye in the mirror, I remember that. So I'm in that state of mind all the time. But, you could buy yourself a new ring or a charm bracelet, and every time you see it, you remember, and then your actions come from that thought you've created and that physical manifestation that you already have. So I think that's a really good thing to do. Yep.
You also say that failure isn't real, because I would venture to guess when you're setting out to make some changes and do some things differently, you will fall down.
Totally.
You will fall down
Yeah.
sometimes, but you say failure isn't real.
Failure isn't real because, I mean, as long as I'm alive, I'm living and breathing and continuing, right? Failure is the end of something. And until I have decided that it's the end of something, then it just continues. And I'm learning along the way. And whenever I get to my end result, I'm going to be better rooted in it because of those challenges. So we have to look at those challenges as opportunities and things to navigate in order to aspire to be where we want to be.
I've been telling people that I think they need to cozy up with failure, and that if you're not failing at anything, then you're not putting yourself out there enough.
Yep.
Don't you think that's true?
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's a great, because the thing is I mean, being an entrepreneur is really interesting, and I've rebuilt my business because I've structured something and realized that I don't really want to do that. And so one of the main reasons that I'm in this planning stage right now is because I'm realizing, all of those obstacles that I came up against, taught me, and so it's continuing to evolve. But also, if I really sit down and work a plan structure, then I just stop saying, yeah, sure, to so many things, and then create something that wasn't really my conscious idea to begin with.
So your intention.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's not my intention. So we have to find that intention, create a structured plan, go from A to B to get C, which is the end result we want, right?
Remind yourself you're awesome.
Yeah,
I like that.
All day, remind that.
I
and also,
agree.
tell no one. I think keep this to yourself. So many people everybody sees life through their own eyes, right? But, as an example, when I did move to Hawaii, everyone told me I was too young, I could be murdered, because I was headed out there hitchhiking, on an island, and you never know and I'm not recommending you do that.
Right.
But, if you want to,
people will think you're crazy.
Exactly.
Sometimes when you share your dreams.
And then if you're in this state of trying to start something new, don't let those thoughts come in. So keep it to yourself like a little ninja, right?
Yeah.
And run it behind the scenes until it starts to manifest, and then show everybody what you've done. And you can inspire people that way.
Brent, thank you so much.
Of course. It's always a pleasure.
Stuff.
Yep.
IronOakFitness.com. Go there for more information from Brent, IronOakFitness.com.
Happy New Year.